Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Okay. Hey guys. It's 9 exotic animals that shouldn't be in the UK. I love watching animal videos. So, whatever the topic is about animals, I'm gonna be curious about it. Preemptive like Creature Chronicles UK. Subscribed. Let's go. Let's learn, shall we? Hope everyone's doing well. Hey guys.
Insane animals that can... Here are 9 insane animals that can be found in the UK that don't quite fit in, to say the least. I bet you've never even heard of number 1.
Raccoon Bear?
This steroid frog is truly the stuff of nightmares. Well, mine anyway. According to the world's most accurate resource, it's a large, true frog that is native to North America. They can grow up to 25 centimetres long and weigh nearly an entire kilogram. They arrived to the UK as part of the pet trade and probably made their way into the countryside when owners released them or their spawn in local ponds. They are significant.
I don't hear them that often, but I don't see them that often, but I definitely hear them a lot. They're quite loud.
Significantly bigger than our native amphibians. So they do pose a serious threat to them. Their population is being managed, but given the fact that they can lay 20,000 eggs in one go, I think those frog hunters have their work cut out for them.
Yeah. Glossy Ibis.
This goth heron that just got out of an oil spill is an incredible bird that can be seen in wetlands and damp fields in the UK. They are native to Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe and the Americas, but are only very occasional visitors to our island. They mainly come here during winter and spring, when they leave their breeding grounds in warmer regions.
Guys, I've heard mosquitoes aren't that much of an issue in the UK. And if that is true, wow, you are very lucky.
Mainly come here during winter and spring, when they leave their breeding grounds in warmer regions. It is thought that climate change is a contributing factor to the increased amount of sightings that we've been getting. But as they come in such few numbers, no one's really worried about these jazzy fellas crippling our ecosystems just yet.
American mink.
This mini otter is an absolutely vicious predator that has had a huge impact on the UK's native wildlife. During my research on this creature, I discovered something absolutely mental about another one. I was learning how mink leave droppings at sites such as fallen trees, weirs and bridges that act like scent messages to other animals that are passing by. And apparently, their poop is particularly rank, with a foul, fishy odour, as opposed to otter's
like a
scat,
skunk.
which, wait for it, smells like jasmine tea. If you don't believe me, just look at the headline of this BBC Earth article. Now, I don't know about you, but I still won't be sticking my nose over any otter feces anytime soon to check. No, thank you. Anyway, mink are native to North America and got here as a result of the fur trade. A few of them escaped from fur farms in the 1950s and 60s after weeks of planning and digging, and now they breed across most of the country. It is believed that mink have caused the waterfowl population to plummet by 90%, especially because the females are small enough to squeeze into their burrows and wipe out entire families. They also have an impact on ground nesting birds like terns and kingfishers, which is a shame, as kingfishers are one of our most beautiful birds. There is a large-scale eradication program in action to tackle these guys, with an aim to get rid of them entirely eventually.
It's interesting how the ibis, the bird here, is an example of a species that wasn't brought, like, man-made, unless you consider the environmental impacts, but wasn't brought through, like, a fur or a pet trade, but kind of came here naturally, is interesting. Use air quotes. Terrapin.
There are several species of these heavy frisbees living in the UK that are all non-native. These species include red-eared terrapins, which are from south-central United States, and European pond terrapins, which are from central, southern and eastern Europe, as well as parts of North Africa and Asia. Believe it or not, the main reason terrapins are in the UK is thanks to the popularity of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 1980s. During this time, they were brought in swathes as pets, but many were eventually released. When their owners realised they can grow up to 30 centimetres long and live for up to 40 years, I guess the local ponds started to sound like an easy option. They eat amphibians, fish and even ducklings, so in areas where they are present, they can have an impact on our native wildlife. Organisations do exist that remove terrapins from ponds, but they're not really treated as a major threat. These tiny snakes with legs exist in only a few small breeding populations in the UK. This is the only animal on this list that I've seen myself, as part of my quest to find every animal in the UK. So all of these shots are actually mine. They are quite similar to our native sand lizard, which is very rare but I also managed to find. But don't let them fool you, they shouldn't be here. They are native to Europe, but only ended up here due to both intentional releases and as pet escapees. The first release is believed to have been in the 1920s in Ventnor on the Isle of Wight. Others believe that they survived a shipwreck at Bonchurch. The answer isn't completely clear for this critter. There is a risk that they are hastening the decline of sand lizards, as they share some of the same territories. There doesn't seem to be any organisations doing anything about their presence, and to be honest, I had a cracking day seeing these ones at the south coast, so I don't mind if a few stick around.
So clearly there are some species invasive, not native to Britain, that can cause more harm than others, like the mink, for example, with a serious appetite and maybe not as many predators as they might face in the USA. So not all invasive species are equally problematic. Makes sense. Red-necked wallaby.
These
No
pocket
way.
kangaroos have made themselves at home in a
No way. You guys have mini kangaroos in the wild in the UK.
These pocket kangaroos have made themselves at home in a couple of different areas in the UK. They can weigh up to 18 kilograms, so they're actually a pretty chunky mammal by our standards. This will come as no surprise that they are native to Australia and Tasmania. So just how the hell did they end up here in the first place? Well, I'll tell you.
Why did he get so angry with Tasmania?
They escape from zoos and private collections.
Life will
Not that
find a
exciting
way.
backstory then, but they're definitely one of the most surprising animals on this list if you ask me. I still swear to this day I saw one at the back of a golf driving range in Chesington in Surrey years ago. If by some miracle you live around there and have ever heard of anyone seeing one or have seen one yourself, please let me know, but it is definitely a long shot.
Yeah, this one is much more surprising than the others. Not just because of the distance. I mean, America is far away, and they've had invasive species into the UK, but not as far as Australia. And I would think that Australian animals, like the wallaby or kangaroos, would have a much harder time existing in the climate of the UK, especially in the winter, when I'd imagine they never had to evolutionarily adapt to that sort of cold and, strange environment.
They exist in such low populations that they aren't really a threat to any of our native species, so there's no need to worry about these chaps minding their own business.
Fungus? Poti.
Now we're really getting crazy. This tree, anteater, bear, badger / dinosaur when filmed in reverse couldn't look much more out of place in the UK, but it is believed that there is a very small population of these creatures living in the Lake District, as there have been multiple sightings of them over the years, and one was even photographed in someone's back garden once. They are native to South
I'll
America.
react to that, sure. Sorry guys, that's my other video. The I'll react to that, sure input there. That was my other video getting ready. Sorry about that.
One was even photographed in someone's back garden once. They are native to South America, Central America, Mexico, and the southwest of the United States. I actually saw one in the wild in the Amazon once. Here he is. Their name is derived from Kua, meaning belt, and Tim, meaning nose. This relates to how they sleep, as they tuck their flexible noses into their bellies. This is another critter that most likely escaped from zoos or private collections, and again, as there is such a tiny number of them here, it's very unlikely that they would impact any of our native wildlife.
They have to be closely related to raccoons. They just look so alike.
Which is exactly what they want us to think, as they slowly devour every robin north of the Thames.
Thomas. A sculp.
This massive legless lizard is sneakily living in at least 2 places in the UK, including right by London Zoo, although apparently they didn't escape from there. Yeah, alright then.
Coincidence?
They can grow up to 2 metres long, making them much longer than any of our 3 native species, 2 of which I found, but the rarest one still eludes me. For now, smooth snake. For now. They are native to Central, Southern and Eastern Europe, as well as other parts of Western Asia. According to London Zoo's own website, this particular population became established when an organisation working to study these snakes kept them in a local facility many years ago. Vague. The snakes either escaped from this facility or were released from it. Spoken like someone who can't be bothered to go and pick up their lost snakes. They're not venomous, so they're no threat to people, but as they can climb trees, they are a threat to birds. They only live in London and one other small town in in Wales and don't seem to be spreading out, so they're not much of a worry and people are generally leaving them be. Everyone except for me, who will definitely be tracking down these massive snakes this year.
Raccoon dog. Oh, wow, I said raccoon bear. I was kind of close.
I hear you ask? A raccoon dog? That's right, a raccoon dog. I mean what I say. This badger fox is perhaps the most peculiar animal on this list, and is an animal I didn't personally know existed until very recently.
It does really look like a badger and a fox had a baby. So badger fox seems fitting.
They are members of the dog family, and according to Google AI's overview, raccoon dogs are nocturnal, small, and extremely smelly animals that live in wooded habitats.
Anal glands.
There's no need to get personal, is there? They are native to East Asia, including Japan.
So it seems like skunks. Do you guys have skunks over there? So it seems like skunks, raccoons, all these animals are pretty closely related, and skunks just happen to, through evolution, max out their smell stats with their anal glands. But clearly, a lot of the related species have anal glands that have smells, just not used as a direct defense mechanism like with skunks.
Japan, where they are known as tanuki.
Japan?
They are surprisingly good swimmers, and that's how they got to the UK. And many more swim over every year for the good weather and fine cuisine. Nah, they were brought to Europe as part of the fur trade and were also kept as exotic pets. So like many of the other animals on this list, a few have squeezed out of their cages or been released intentionally over the years. They can carry diseases that affect other mammals, so this could be a concern with them being here. So it is now illegal to sell them in the UK. Sorry to thwart your plans, you exotic pet dealer, you. Well, gee, that sure was informative and entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, and join his Patreon right now. I assume that's the sort of thing you're thinking right now, so I'll let you crack on with all of that, and I'll get started making another smashing video for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It was a great video. I learned a lot, and I love watching animal videos in general, so whatever the topic has to do with the animals, I'm going to be drawn to it. So this one just happened to be recommended, so I did it. Very nice. I learned a lot. Any comments down below would be appreciated, guys. You guys are always awesome down there. I hope everyone's having a good day, and I hope I'll see you guys next video, all right? Bye, guys.